Well, we've talked about different athletes, about Umar, but now let's talk about Islam Makhachev, one of your closest brothers, who's at the very top of the world. You've known each other. You've trained together for more than 20 years. In your opinion, what makes him such a special wrestler and fighter? Why has he reached such heights? Why is he a great fighter?
Well, let's start with the fact that Islam has been doing this his whole life, since childhood. And I've known him since childhood too. We went to the same school, lived in the same neighborhood, trained at the same gym, and he was my father's student. And it's worth mentioning, he was one of my father's favorite students,
Yes.
one of the best students. My father saw in him this potential for greatness in how hard he trained. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. When you go into the dark, uncomfortable room and stay there for a long time, no matter how hard it gets. He knew how to make sacrifices. He was very disciplined. Nobody reaches this level by accident. It's impossible without exceptional natural gifts. And he has them. He's gifted. Allah blessed him with those gifts. And he's deeply devoted to what he does. We basically grew up together, right? I'm 3 years older than Islam, and I was always a little bigger, a little older than him. So when we were amateurs, I competed in slightly heavier weight classes. But we worked together a lot, and Islam benefited tremendously from training with me. We trained together for many years. And he never had to go anywhere to find a sparring partner, because he always had one in the gym. So I developed by training with the older guys in the gym, the stronger guys, the better guys, when I was young. Then, when they left, I was the one in front. Islam kept growing. Now I left, Islam is the one in front, and now other guys are developing through him. This is a kind of chain that exists in a gym, in a training system that produces the best fighters in the world. And in this chain, Islam was always behind me. If I was behind someone, Islam was behind me. Now others are following, Islam, Usman, Amru, and other guys. You could put them against any of the best fighters in the world right now, and they would perform very well. So in this chain, we've had since 2003, and now it's already 2026. That's 23 years. Islam was the one coming up behind me. And now there are younger guys coming up behind Islam. And it's no secret that Islam will turn 35 in October. But what makes me happy is that there are younger guys coming up behind him. I left, Islam stepped in. One day Islam will leave too, and others will take his place. And this cycle, it never ends. It keeps going, and it keeps pulling the next generation forward. At the beginning, a lot of people are involved. But as you gradually climb higher, and higher, the road gets narrower, and fewer people remain. And alongside Islam, a lot of guys were developing while training with me. But Islam made it all the way because of his work ethic, his discipline, and let's call it sacrifice. He gave up a lot to reach this level. This isn't easy. You have to make sacrifices. You have to give up parties. You have to sacrifice sleep. You have to sacrifice your time. There are so many things you have to give up. You have to dedicate your entire life to this sport, putting aside all the things that can distract you. You train, you sleep, you eat, you wake up, and then you do it all over again. Only then can you reach the level that Islam reached. That's what makes him unique.
Were there any small but interesting differences between you and Islam, psychologically speaking?
There are many. Psychologically, he's very solid too. I've been around him through so many training camps and so many fights. He's built very strong mentally. Of course, we're different in certain things, but in terms of our fighters' attitude toward their work, we have a lot in common. A lot.
You also train a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot.
And I think well, first I have to say, I watched you train yesterday, and it made me really happy to see that you still love this so deeply. You know, it's hard to love something for such a long time.
People finish and move on.
Yes.
They retire and move on. But me, it's been 6 years since I retired, and I still haven't let go of wrestling, of competition. I still go to the gym, do cardio, lift, wrestle, grapple. I never let it go. It's still with me. And yesterday I told you that last week I did 200 minutes of live grappling. This week is a little different though, because I'm just focused on Umar, traveling, and everything that comes with that. So this week it's going to be less. Still, I wrestle. I don't let go. I love it. I love this energy. I love that feeling after wrestling. You wrestle, let's say, 40 minutes. Yesterday, I still wanted more. Just now, I wrestled with you, with Islam, maybe 20 minutes, but still, it's not enough to get that feeling, that 100% feeling. I need around 40 minutes of wrestling, something like that. I don't think most people listening to us will understand that. But I think some people watching, especially grappling and jiu-jitsu fans, will understand me.
Well, to be honest, sometimes there are cameras around you, and for me at least, that's harder. I like it when there are none.
I usually train with no cameras. With you was one of the rare occasions when I come to the gym and
You allow.
when I allow it, yes.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. This is very, very rare for me. Even with Embedded, with UFC, with everyone who comes, I always say, don't film.
Thank you, brother. I don't know why, but cameras get in the way for me because this sport, this preparation, it happens here, and that whole world where celebrities matter, it gets in the way.
Yes, it gets in the way, but 99.9% of our training sessions happen without cameras.
Well, thank you, brother. Let me ask you this. A lot of people say you're number one, the greatest of all time. Do you think Islam has a chance to become the greatest MMA fighter of all time?
Well, I've never said that, and I never set out to become number one or to become the greatest athlete and so on. I never had that. My goal was always to become the best in my sport, to become a world champion, to prove to myself that I could do it. But it's hard to choose just one person. Even now, look, there's always going to be St. Pierre, there's always going to be Demetrius Johnson, there's always going to be John Jones, there's always going to be Fedor. If people want to include me in that conversation, if Islam gets into that conversation, if there's Cain Velasquez, Cormier, and so on, I'd be happy about that. And that's my goal, that someone from our team, from the people closest to me, gets there too. If John Jones is there, why can't Islam be there? If Demetrius Johnson is there with 11 title defenses, why can't Islam be there? It's a good question. Why not? I'd like him to break all those records, to overtake John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, and St. Pierre, no matter how much respect I have for them. Islam has a chance, but time is starting to run out a little. This worries me because, for example, Jones fought at light heavyweight and now at heavyweight. Time is a little kinder to those divisions. Even at 38, you can still compete at the heavier weights. You don't need the same reaction speed and all that. But when you compete in lighter weight classes, 155, 170, age really catches up. I think active fighters, retired fighters, wrestlers, athletes, especially those who competed in these weight classes, will understand what I'm talking about. When you're 35, and when you're 32, and when you're 38, you're a totally different athlete.